Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
Indeed. I'm not a shit. I didn't do that on purpose.
That was good. That was a really good one.
You did say.
Yeah.
You did this.
I did.
He wanted me to do the intro while he was distracted. He just...
We can finish the intro?
Yeah. Anyway. We have some really interesting topics today. We had a heck of a time brainstorming for them, but I'm excited because we're going to talk about the loneliness of having chronic conditions and being just generally unwell and having to go through life with well people, which is hard.
Yes.
And then in the second half, we'll be talking a bit about the noticeable changes we've seen in ourselves that have come about either due to or over the course of the podcast.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of coming up on our year anniversary really quickly.
May 3rd.
Yeah. And that's the beginning of EDS Awareness
March
Month
3rd.
as well. No, what?
Was I right the first time?
I think May.
Yeah, May 3rd.
Yeah, we started in May. I was like, not March, no. But if this is your first time joining us, I'm Karina. This is Chris.
Hi.
And we both have Ehlers-Danlos type 3 and some other comorbidities that go along with that. And this is our podcast in which we talk about those conditions, but in a kind of, I don't know if we can call it lighthearted.
I'm trying to find the right
humor.
word. We deal with it.
Yeah.
That's the end of it. We cope.
We're less on the informative side and more on the experiential side.
Yep.
And this is our third season, which means it is our season of many voices.
So you've gotten really good at the intro.
I hope. God, I'm just rambling. Jesus. I just talk and then hopefully things come out correctly.
Yeah.
So this is your baby.
Yeah, but we haven't done the weekly recap.
Yes. So I'm like, how far back do we want to go? Because we
recorded on Saturday.
Did we?
Yeah, we had an actual week.
I don't know what days are anymore.
It was a weird week.
Time means absolutely nothing to me anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, especially last week. That was a lot. Are you going to go first or should I go first?
I'll go last because then I can jump into my baby.
All right. So I'm going to sing it then.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. It's time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Wow. I had a hell of a week.
Yes, you did.
Work was just absolutely crazy. Super, super high demand on energy. And then bringing my traumatized students back from break is always interesting because a lot of them don't want to go on break. Home is not their safe place. And so it can be interesting trying to get them back on track.
Yeah.
When we're like, okay, let's do school stuff. And they're like, I
No.
still have to acclimate to not being at home all the time.
Yeah.
So lots of work, lots of tired. Fatigue has been kicking my ass. And then I broke a tooth. And that sucked. Super fun. Not happy about that one. I saw my pain psych. And that was interesting. She made me cry. And then she was like, we're out of time. I'll see you next time.
They found the gold of the whole thing right at the end.
Right.
I can't even imagine.
And I was super emotional already. I walked in and she was like, how are you? And I was like, I am alive on planet Earth today. That's what I can tell you. And she goes, oh, so not good? And I was like, yeah, not great. And so we talked a bit about just, because I'm just so tired. And I'm I had a little stretch of feeling sorry for myself in the context of I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Yeah.
Or if I can do this, or if I'm just, it's overwhelming because I'm tired now.
Did it feel like maybe adjusting to change in a way? Have there been more changes that have been harder to deal with?
Yeah. And scarier ones.
Yeah.
I had a day, actually, no, this was interesting. And I think it must have been a silent migraine or something. But I had a headache on Monday because the weather was just crazy back and forth. And I was I'm blurry in my right eye. And I was oh, it must be a migraine coming on. And then it was Thursday night when I really noticed that it was really blurry. and it was blurry around the edges.
Oh.
And so it was like this shrinking circle of blurriness in my right eye, even with my contacts in or with my contacts out.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know, it wasn't even like blurry necessarily. It was just blurring the light.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. You know how when you like look at something that's lit up like a clock
Yeah.
and it just bleeds light and you can't see what it says because the light is just, yeah. That's what that was. And so Friday, I was like worried because it was still that way in the morning. And I was like, oh my God, am I going to have to go to the doctor? And then it cleared up, thank God, because that was weird.
That's one of those, is this a temp thing or is this forever now?
Right. I was like, I need my eyes.
Yeah.
I need those. But it's like, so my gross motor has been kind of shitty. And so that has, I think that played into the feeling sorry for myself where I was like, am I capable of doing what I'm doing? And I know I am, but I'm tired.
Yeah.
And then that like train of thought goes through your head where you're like, should I have to? Do I have to do this? Like I have to work so much harder than other people to do the same things. And I'm tired. So that was kind of the theme of my week.
Yeah. It's kind of our topic too. That works in beautifully.
Yes.
I had a week. I don't remember.
I know, right? What's
the week
day?
went by quickly and very slowly at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt the days were dragging on, but then I got to Friday. I was like, how did I get to Friday? I uploaded the episode last minute last night.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't edit it last minute. Like I just had to upload it. But
yeah.
Also the audio sucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have no idea what that was about. It like recorded it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It like
we went back to like our raw files.
Yeah, the raw was slower.
Mm-hmm.
It recorded slower than the video did.
Yeah. And
it was popping and clicking the whole time. It was really weird.
I don't know. Maybe it's your poltergeist.
It could have been.
He might be trying to communicate.
He just want to mess with a podcast. He's just like, well, I'm bored.
Right?
What am I going to do today?
There you go.
It was a pretty fatiguey week.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember is fighting the fatigue all week.
Yeah.
Like with the kids out of the house and Jen at work, I was like, I got to get up. I want to do things. And I couldn't. I wasn't on my computer. I wasn't.
God.
Like I was like, I'm going to edit on Monday. Couldn't get that done until Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a heck of a week.
Yeah, trying to get my chores done like normal was like, it was so
Not
hard.
surprised.
I was so tired. And then sleep was just not a thing that was going to happen.
I had insomnia this week.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had insomnia like that in a while.
Yeah. But we both kind of slept last night, which is nice. So we're a little more peppy than we have been.
Yeah, very true. I also drank a Monster this morning. That was my...
Oh, that helps.
I'm like, I got to get up and go.
Yeah.
So here we are. But yeah, that was a pretty dull week.
Mm-hmm. How are your guts? Because I'm back on a bile cycle. And I threw up just straight bile Friday morning.
I've thrown up my meds a bunch. The weird, bizarre ones too, where like if I eat a little bit beforehand to test the waters, like I'll feel weird. And then I take my morning meds and then I'm just like, oh, I guess that's not happening. And then I don't, it's very frustrating. I don't know what it is about medication that my stomach's like, not today. I don't want to. And then every other like part of my body is like, but we needed that.
Give it back.
Please.
Yes. Yep.
It's like that TikTok we made.
Yeah.
So go back to that. Check out our TikToks. Go to the early ones. You'll see it.
I can balance myself. I choose not to.
Yeah. My stomach chose violence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Holy crap.
It's been a week like that.
So bad. Oh, I had a workout.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I think, maybe the second one since the car accident. And it actually was really good. I felt so much better because I have the chiropractor that's been helping me. And that's been nice because no one else has helped me.
Yeah.
So chiropractor and massage therapist, which has been good. So some good things this week, but not.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like a horrible week. Right. It was just a week.
It was one of those where I'm like, did I exist? I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I know I did because I was running around and I was tired the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So intro your topic because it's a really good one and I'm excited to get into it.
It just popped into my head. I was sitting here and I was trying to think of things that happened to me over the week. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't even remember the genesis of it now. We just came up with it like 30 minutes ago and I'm already like, don't know. But I was thinking about the loneliness that comes with chronic conditions, and there's like the facets of it, right? There's being alone because no one else can relate to you.
Yep.
And then there's being alone in that you can't let others in, kind of.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like there, you put up a divide.
Yeah.
Because you want to seem normal.
Yep.
And then you get treated normal, which is what you want, but at the same time, you don't want that because you get offended. You're like, but I can't do what you do.
Right. Well, and that's kind of where we've developed that explicit communication, is because we have all these like crazy faceted needs.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to get them met. And sometimes we still don't, because it's hard. It's hard when you're like putting up this facade of being well.
Yeah.
And you look well and you seem well. And then at the same time, you're like, this is killing me on the inside.
Here's a great example that I just thought of. All week, I've been getting up and been doing stuff, and I felt fine, right? Like I thought I was doing good.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I would start feeling like shit, and I'd be like, oh, okay, guess I can't do things. But then Bappa would show up and be like, oh, look, you're out of bed. You must be feeling great today. And I'm like,
yeah, yes.
No. But I have to say, I'm going to be like, yeah, no, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Because I can't just be honest and be like, no, I'm having a really horrible time.
Yeah. Well, and for me, this manifests really heavily with like my friend groups.
Yeah.
Where for the first time in my life, I have this really amazing set of coworkers who, like, friend crush for life, I guess, is how I would put that. They're just fantastic. But it's so hard to like maintain those friendships when I can't go out and do like the extra stuff.
Right. The socializing that happens beyond.
And then there's other times where I'm like, I'm showing up, and how am I existing in that space when I'm like, I feel like shit. Mm-hmm. But I always feel like shit.
Right.
And so then it's like other people fatigue of your of your illness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we know that pain makes other people uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of that, but it's also, it is, like you said, it's really multifaceted, because like I have a really hard time if I'm having a hard time and I show up to work and I'm like, I'm going to get support, and then someone else is having a hard time. I'm like, nope, put it away.
Shut it down instantly.
Not for me.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be the drama this week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and it's like, I don't want to like detract from what other people are going through, because like I'm mentally ill and I can't prioritize myself, right?
Yeah.
And then B, because I'm like, oh, well, I always don't feel good. So, and then they didn't mean to, but at one point somebody was like, how you doing? And I was like, I feel like shit. And she goes, what else is new? And then I was like, oh, I just hurt my own feelings there.
Yeah.
Oops.
No, it happens to me a lot.
Right. Because you're like, it's not because, and it does, it falls into that, like, are you doing it for attention?
We can't talk about that yet, though. We have to save that.
Yeah.
We have a whole special podcast planned.
It does go into the whole, like, whose voice is that?
Yeah, exactly. Is it your voice, or are you interpreting things? Are you putting thoughts in other people's heads?
Or is it the voice of your trauma?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? I think Autumn. We were talking to Autumn. Oh, I lost the thought completely. Oh, well. It had something to do with what you were saying earlier about how people react to what you say to them. I'm going to find that thought again. It's going to kill me. Because Autumn said something and I was like, oh, cool. That hurt.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it was, but.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah. It's that like, and it's hard too, because you know those people are like, they are themselves trying to kind of normalize it in a way. But we get to this point of fatigue where we're not able to output the emotional energy to maintain some of those relationships.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, well, I'm a burden on this relationship. I'm not part of this inner circle because it's developing without me. I should just burn it all down and run away. And so like runaway brain kicks in really bad there for me, especially because, hi, I'm Karina and I was a runaway. So runaway brain is like my MO for life. So, but at the same time, you're like, is that what's actually happening? Or is that how you're interpreting things because you're hurting your own feelings and you have unmet needs that you don't know how to go about meeting? Yeah. But you also don't want to be a burden to those other people. and you don't want to be the one who's like, oh, please take care of me. But then at the same time, we're never the one who's like, please take care of me.
Yeah.
Because we're insecure about it.
I remember my thought. I get it from not just Autumn, other people. It's not that my feelings get hurt. It's that they'll be like, oh, I don't want to talk about it because you hurt more than I do.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's like, okay, so I'm in pain, yes. Doesn't mean you're not.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that yours is any less than mine.
Yes.
That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
The whole, I can't talk to you about it. It's like,
that's why I won't even bring stuff up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it feels like suffering one-upping.
Exactly.
And I don't want to do that or be that or feel that way. And I don't want other people to feel that way. And so we have it on both sides.
My biggest problem is that exact thing. Because I like to relate with people by sharing trauma.
Yep.
If someone has done something or had something to happen, like, ooh, no, I can relate to that because this happened to me. I'm not trying to like...
Right. You're not like, it was so much worse for me. No, it's like, oh, I know what that feeling feels like because of this situation that I've been in the past. Or like, I felt that because of whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get super concerned about how it comes across.
Yeah.
And then my pain psych said to me, she was like, so it sounds like you're thinking a lot about like other people's thoughts about you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I don't like the way you put that.
Yeah.
Now,
what are you getting at?
Now
Brain
responsibility. Because it's that like, you can't control how other people think about you. But that's what we've done for so long because we've had trauma. Mm-hmm. And I've talked about it on here before where it's like, how do you put out all of your issues without being like, hi, I know you just hired me, but here's all my shit. So you do it in context over time.
Exactly.
So I spend a lot of time controlling my own like external narrative because I would rather be overly open than be misunderstood. Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it completely. What else is on here? Oh, yeah. Oh, well. So we have letting others support us.
We're bad at that.
Well, because the next part of that is craving it desperately, but then putting up that wall of, I can't let you do that.
Right. Or getting to a point where you're like, I don't really know how to accept it.
Yeah.
Like, even though you want
you're gonna
it,
have to accept it and then pass it on. Be like, I accept this as part of me. This is my problem. Will you help me?
Yeah.
And then getting upset when they don't because they're treating you normal.
Right. Which is what we've been like training them to do from the first time they've met us.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get them to this point where everything's copacetic, but then you get to a point where you're like, I need somebody. And they're just like...
And they're like, you're totally fine. And I'm like, yeah.
And that's when you get that comment, oh, you're always like this. Like,
yes.
That is my normal, but my normal is not normal today. Sorry.
Ooh, I almost passed out at work on Friday.
You told me. Oh my God.
In front of my boss too.
Yeah.
Not just in front of my boss. Like, she was probably about that far away from me. It was like, I don't know, 3 feet or so. And I was like wobbling and I could feel it. And because I overheated really fast. And then it was in this really hot room and our building was hot and everything was hot. And I'd been running all day and I hadn't had like half of my Gatorade. And so I start like wobbling and I'm like, oh, this is not like, and I can get to the floor on my own one. And so I kind of like sidestepped over and just used her arm to help me get to the floor.
Yeah.
And then she was like, it was weird because she like had to catch me almost and like lower me to the floor. And then she had her arm around me on the floor. And one of my kids is pulling out a chair for me. And we're standing in this circle. So I know other people are seeing all this happen. And I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
But I'm shaking because I'm like barely conscious.
I mean, that's a good example of how things should go, though.
Yeah, but it was...
Because they took care of you. Mm-hmm. They didn't make a big deal out of it.
Yes, they did a really good job.
Right? Like,
but it was very...
Exposing,
yeah. Because there were so many people.
Right. It's very vulnerable, that whole interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. And vulnerable and like... Because I am, especially at work, I'm very careful to keep a lot of things in my small circle.
Yeah.
Because I don't want other people who don't quite understand talking about it. I would rather have my mouth in just my name in the mouths of those who are close to me and not in people who don't understand. I don't want people who don't get it to be talking about me.
Yeah.
Which is my own problem. That's not a them problem. That's a me problem.
That's the which voice is it?
Yes. But yeah, no, it's hard in front of tons of people when I'm like, oh, they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Super exposing. Okay, I think exposing is the right word.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's because we've talked about in the past that pain is intimate.
Yeah.
And the experience of pain is intimate. And then witnessing someone in pain is intimate. Like, you know, when you've seen someone hurting and you're like, oh, this feels like something I should not be watching.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so awkward.
Yeah.
Especially when you want to help.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, I could be in that situation and be helpful, but other people are there. They got it.
Yeah.
And then what do I leave? Do I just walk away? Am I the asshole then?
Right.
Like,
but like it does. It feels almost obscene.
Yeah.
In a way where you're like, oh, I was not meant to see that. Or like you were not meant to see me that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot. But I know my coworkers understand.
But yeah, your coworkers understand.
Yeah, I know they understand. And even then it's hard because I know they are also going through their own stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to be the attention suck. And then I'm like everybody's support system because I'm good at it. And then I don't know how to be like, hey, I lean on you now?
Right. Like, how do I get the support that I'm putting out there?
And beyond like craving that support, I don't think we know how, like, especially for me, I have this really hard, and it's hard to explain. I don't know how to not be okay.
Yeah.
And so I just put things away. And it's not like I'm like stuffing it all down or I'm like gritting my teeth and bearing it all day. I'm just like, oh, it's not my turn.
Right.
I'll wait. And then I wait forever.
Well,
and then it
what
builds.
would you do if it was your turn?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what?
Exactly. What does that look like? How do I get from I'm always fine to I can feel my emotions and be supported and feel safe?
Yes. Yes, exactly. I had a thought and I lost it. It was a good thought. Come back. Yeah.
Sorry, this is all like really fresh this week. So it's a really good topic.
No, I get exactly what you're talking about. Like your situation at work is a perfect example of how isolating it can be, even when you got what you wanted.
Yeah. Well, and it feels lonely because like part of you wants to pull away before it hurts more.
Yeah.
And so I'm fighting that because I really adore these people.
Yeah.
And I adore the relationships I have with these people. But I feel like I'm like distancing anyway. And so I'm like, I don't want to like drift away for a long time. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
So runaway brain says, cut it off now. Which is not what I need to do.
The problem too with you not like being able to do the social stuff is that people are going to say, "Where's Karina? Oh, she wasn't feeling well."
Yeah.
And that's not a big deal, but it piles on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they don't think of it that way, but at least for me, I would be like it every time I would skip out. I'd feel like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm not only am I missing out, but I'm building the stigma of I'm not well enough to go out and do things.
Right. Right.
Like I've had to talk to Kaylee explicitly about like, please invite me to things, even if I say no most of the time, because I want to. Yeah. I just sometimes can't. Yeah. Most of the time can't.
Well, and I don't want them to feel like I don't want to either.
Exactly.
That's the other one that like, not only is it like, they're going to be like, oh, she's not well enough, but oh, she doesn't care enough.
Right.
And that's not the case. My life is just really, really full. Mm-hmm. And that takes literally all of my spoons to get through a week. And so I don't know how to maintain those relationships outside of the work setting because that's where I see them.
Yeah. That's
where I'm like, that's already programmed into my schedule. And so I know they did ice cream social on Friday and I was like, can't go. I have a live. I got stuff to do. I got to go.
It was a good live. We talked to Crystal.
It was a good live. We don't get to talk to Crystal very often, but yeah, I liked that a lot. And she had good suggestions for our May episodes. So that'll be fun. But I don't know. It's a very complicated thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it's complicated for people who are not quite as cagey as we are too.
Right. Well, and this doesn't just apply to like people with chronic illness. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of mental health stuff could be the exact
Yes.
same. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be the depressed person or
Right.
the downer of the group.
Mm-hmm. But it's also hard if you're like the pillar.
Right. And then you need help, but how do you get the help?
Right.
How do you let
Because-
people give you the help?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like everyone has leaned on you,
Mm-hmm.
and you've not needed to lean on anyone else, or you've not quote unquote needed
Right.
to lean on anyone else. So how do you do that? How? Because that's my whole problem is like, and I know I talk about like, how do I not be so high functioning? Which is a really weird thing to say.
Well, it's the
Just
same as
overall.
when your psych was like, you need to dial it back a bit
Yeah.
and feel it more.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's stop being so functioning. God damn it.
Yeah.
How
Stop
though?
being so high functioning. And I'm like, I don't know how. I don't know how to be like, yes, I passed out and I need someone to like take care of me for a minute.
Well,
Or like, how do you let someone take care of you?
it's been so hard for me to let people do that. Like when I black out or something, or like when I'm hanging out with Pedro and he's being very considerate of everything.
Oh yeah.
Because he you know, he's a nurse. He knows what people look like when they're not doing well, and he'll make exceptions and be like, "Hey,
That
take a seat." And I'm
too.
like, I don't want to, but I do. Why are you being nice to me? Stop.
Right.
It's very weird
Right.
to just be
That's
like,
the
"Okay,
other
thank
one.
you. I will sit."
Yeah.
There's so
Well-
much like weirdness in your own brain.
And there's that like weird childish piece of you that's like, I just wish someone would call me on my bullshit.
Right.
I wish somebody could see through the like I'm fine but also not fine facade,
Mm-hmm.
because I have that like both. I'm like, yes, everything is horrible, but I'm also fine.
Right.
I want someone to see through it without me having to be like, hey, I need someone to take care of me, and be like, you're not good. But that's not their job, and
No.
I'm really good at masking.
It's a weird thing that you want.
Yes.
You don't want to put that expectation out there,
Yeah.
but you do. But you don't.
Well, you just
It's
just
so-
wish somebody was like
Yeah.
dialed in enough to see it, because it's hard because we are the ones who see it and
Mhm.
see through it in other people because trauma, and so we are hyper aware of like micro expressions,
Yeah.
and like you're good at masking and I'm good at masking, and we see it in each other, so we know what it looks like in other people, but other people maybe don't know what it looks like in us.
Exactly.
And then that's hard because they're like, I just want someone to call me on my bullshit and take care of me regardless.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a weird thing that I've kind of been doing, and I just realized it because it goes along with like accepting that people are actually noticing things.
Mhm.
I have to let it out. You have to let I have to purposefully act out my pain or how I'm feeling,
and then
it
feels like a performance.
It is a performance though, because I don't do it naturally.
Yes.
I mask. So
Yes.
I like, if I want people to realize I'm not doing well, I have to notice that I'm not doing well, and then I have to figure out how to express that without being like, oh, it hurts so bad. Please, the
Please,
suffering.
sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
I know exactly what you mean.
and I've been doing it. I noticed just now that like part of
Mhm.
of them noticing is that I'm letting them see.
Yes.
I'm putting it out there.
Yeah. But
It's
it has
weird.
to, it's like purposeful though.
Yeah.
We have to be purposeful about letting people see it. So it's not even just like, this is a mask that I wear. This is like how we have naturally adapted to survive.
Right.
So it's not the I'm fine thing is not the performance. And that's the hard part. Because
Mhm.
people are like, oh, let your guard down. And you're like, it's not my guard. This is like naturally how this looks for me.
This is my natural state of being is this.
Yes.
So yeah, no, it's so
And so you
weird.
have to like mask and unmask at the same time.
I almost feel like I'm adding a mask on top of it though,
Exactly.
because I am
you're like,
performing
you
it.
have to make it visible to other people.
I'm doing
And how? How do you do that?
I'm doing abstract dance performance. I am in pain. It hurts really bad. Ow. But it totally occurred to me that I've been doing it. Like I'll sit down and that's the other thing too, is that I've been more nice to myself, I should say. I've been resting and taking breaks more often, which is bizarre for me because I normally don't ever.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. I have to let people see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even just sitting down during a project is letting them see that I'm not doing great, you know?
Yeah. It is. It's so complex. Like, I feel like I'm holding like a tesseract of this.
Yeah.
Because it does. It has... We're looking at like a 12-sided die here. And we don't know what's at the core. I mean, we kind of do. We do. But, yeah. But you just wish, like, somebody... Like... You wish somebody could see through it the way we see through it. Like, you want another you to be like, hey, you're not good. Which I think is why
there's a whole like psychological breakthrough moment there where you have to realize that you actually have to be the other person and notice it in yourself and then actually address it.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It's crazy.
Which is what I've been doing. I've been so nice to myself lately.
That's good.
Yeah. My progress, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. And we've made really good progress. I'm just kind of at this crossroads where we're in the final quarter of the year and I'm so unbelievably tired. Like I'm in massive, massive spoon debt. And even like the week we had off, like I stopped existing for a week and I got back to it. And by Monday I was like, nope. No, I did not recover any spoons. I paid off some of the interest.
Pretty much.
That's all I did. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of what I have to do now is advocate for working from home at least once a week. So that I can rest a little bit longer.
Yeah. And
then get up and do things that are not quite so high energy.
Yeah.
Because if I'm in the building, my children need me.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that people will notice too. That's the same as me sitting down during like projects. You're letting people know that you need time.
Right.
And they'll see that and then they'll be like, oh, okay. So maybe it'll make them more aware of your condition.
That's kind of what I'm hoping. And it's hard because, like we mask so long. And then the next step for us is not, oh, I don't feel good. It's, I'm going to be a bitch now.
Oh, yeah. No, we go straight from
I'm an asshole.
Masking to fuck everything. Just, no. Yep. Oh, you have good news? Great. I hate it. Bad news? Good for you. It's bizarre.
I hate everything. That puppy over there, fuck that puppy.
That puppy was there the whole time.
The whole time. I'm gonna kill this fucking asshole puppy.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Sorry,
that's a reference.
Lady Dynamite.
If anyone gets that, episode 3, the intro, just watch that.
We've never watched the show, to be clear. Just that scene.
Yeah,
and it's my favorite.
It's good. It's fucking hilarious.
Good. But yeah, so it's hard. It's fine. Like we essentially have to find a middle ground between like I'm fine and I'm an asshole. Like, where's the part that's like
sarcasm?
I don't feel very well.
It's all sarcasm. We fill the void.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. Like Monday when I was fed up because I just did not feel good. I was not feeling well. Like headache, just in pain, not happy. And I was like, I don't know, just when you have no filter whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
And no matter what you're watching or doing or like participating in, like snide remark after snide remark after snide remark. So I was doing that all of Monday and I was like, oh, I'm sure I was an asshole. And later they were like, you're not an asshole. You were fucking hilarious. And I'm like, am I a funny asshole? What?
Yeah. That happened to me this week. I hit a point where I was fed up and the point beyond snide remarks where you're like, hurtful truth.
Yes.
That's the scary place that I got to where I was like,
mm-mm.
I have no energy left for anything. So I'm going to say exactly what I mean, and it's not going to be nice, and it's going to hurt you because it's a truth about yourself that I'm going to uncover that you're not going to want to hear.
Yeah.
But I did it.
Yep.
And I felt bad.
I almost did it to my kids on Friday.
It was to my friends online.
I'm glad you didn't do it. That's good.
I did do it.
You did do it?
Oh, I did it.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I did it. I was just done that day. It was the end of the day. I was fighting fatigue and horrible pain. And I was like, you know what? Here you go. Have this. I'm going away now. Goodbye. And then
let me leave you with this token of fuck you.
Yeah, it was really nice. Oh. I felt bad afterwards. But...
Yeah. I almost did it to my students on Friday because they were just, it was the end of the day and I was exhausted. And I just asked them to clean up and like they could leave early if we got everything clean. And two of them were just like all over each other. And they know for the most part. And I looked over and I was like, listen, I'm exhausted and I have no energy left to like play games with you or be nice. So this is your warning before I start being a bitch.
I handed out that warning before.
Yeah. And they took me seriously because they know, like, I don't get angry.
Yeah.
I don't get mad at them ever. And I was like, we are on the edge because that's what's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to avoid it, do what I asked you to do.
I've had to do that with my children before. Like they'll come home all pumped up and like fighting and shit.
High energy and
they bring that chaos into your space when you're not doing well, and then they start arguing and starting shit.
And then like, you start to spiral up.
I'm like, all right, I am done. This is it. Yeah. If this continues, we will see angry dad. Do you want that? And then like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good. So let's calm down and stop the fighting.
I was like, I'm about to get like mad, and then I'll be like mean.
Yeah.
Because mad and mean are gonna go together real fast. So please do what I asked you to do.
Yeah, hurtful truth is a scary place.
And they did, and they came back, and they weren't like upset with me either. Like,
no,
they were like, oh,
they understood that it wasn't them, that there was just the chaos.
And they were like, wow, like thanks for giving us the warning. And I was like, at least I warn you, yeah. And they were like, yeah, we appreciate that. Because I'm like, then I don't have to go there.
It's like they know you're a person.
It's because I've made the
you treat them like people, and then they treat you like people. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, they know. Like, I'll come in and be like, I don't feel good today.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't feel good today. And usually, like, saying it is enough to, like, I don't know, to, like, vent it, I guess. Yeah. And vent the frustration of it. And so that was the other thing I told my pain psychologist was that, because she was talking about, like, do you avoid negative feelings around the pain?
Right.
And I was like, no, not really, because, like, I'm pretty forthright about stuff, and just like nightmares, like if you say it loses some of its power. And so I've taken to just saying it, even if it's into the empty air. I'm like, out loud, I feel like shit.
I sing it. Bo Burnham.
Constantly. Oh yeah,
I was singing that the other day when you came in. I was like, I feel like shit.
Oh shit. Yes. Wow, this really was a good topic though. Like,
don't know why my brain was like, this is it, but my brain decided.
Well, I'm glad your brain decided. But yeah, I guess the next part of that comes down to like the accountability piece.
Oh yeah. The last part of the thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Was being accountable for yourself in situations.
Yeah. Well, and being accountable for those reactions.
Yeah. And
luckily we can warn people sometimes. Most times. But yeah, being accountable for all that.
That's what the me being mean is what brought on all of this to
Oh, really?
Yeah, because afterwards I had to be accountable for my reaction to the situation. You're like, yes, there are reasons it happened, but I still did it. So I had to take a moment and be like, shit. I fucked up.
Yep.
You know? So yeah, and then you have to just, in general, it's hard to be accountable for your actions in general, because you want to be like, well, it's the illness, well, it's this, well, it's
right,
you know,
right.
It's so easy to just mark it off, but at the same time, you need to realize,
or be like, they have to tolerate me because I'm disabled, or I have this thing, or but that doesn't give you leave to be an asshole.
Exactly.
Right. Like, no matter what you're going through in life, like you are still responsible for the way you interact with other people, for your reactions to things, and for your own feelings about things.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
I had an hour-long talk with Sophie yesterday about that.
Oh, really?
Because she's right now, she's got a bunch of drama with her friends where they're not online anymore, because most of her friends are online.
Oh,
and they're just like ghosting her. So I asked her to change the cat box, and we had a whole fucking meltdown.
Blowout.
Dude, she just lost it. And I was like, hey, come here. Let's talk about this. What about this is stressing you out? She's like, nothing. I'm fine. And I'm like, you just had a meltdown about it. I'm like, how long does it take to do the cat box? I don't know. I have no sense of time. And I'm like, okay, let's get ridiculous then. And I was like, so you're telling me that it takes you most of the afternoon to do the cat box, and then you only get a little time with your friends? She's like, I don't know.
Oh no.
I was like, nope, you do know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk this through. Until finally she was like, yeah. And I was like, so what's actually bothering you? And she was like, oh, well, all this stuff. And I was like, see, you could have, you have to kind of check yourself and the way you react to situations and know that it's coming from you.
Yes.
You're bringing that to me, this negativity.
Right. Like no one's being, it's not like, because it's so easy to be like, oh, well, they were being mean to me.
Right.
And they made me feel that way, or they made me react that way.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, you're responsible for your feelings. You're responsible for how you react to things. Other people are responsible for their feelings and how they react to things. Mm-hmm. And that's the one I have problems with. Is like trying to control the narrative other people think. But,
oh yeah.
Or like thinking I know what other people think.
Yes.
And that's a really slippery slope.
Oh, especially when you add depression, and then your depression's like in the backseat, like, hey, everybody hates you. Guess what?
Right? Last night, do my friends hate me or am I tired?
Why not both?
Yes.
So I was like, I literally answered her question with, it's probably both.
It's probably both.
They hate you and you're tired.
Yeah.
So just go to bed. So you can't change any of it.
I fell asleep watching a Slap on Titan.
Nice.
Which was I missed the abridged version.
Yeah.
It's so sad. But
true.
Man. And it's hard. But I think there's an element of like recognizing the factors of things too.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, wait, pause. You're tired. You probably haven't eaten today. You didn't drink any water. Are your feelings rational, or are your feelings like compounded with all of this stuff that you are responsible for? But then it's kind of the difference between being self-conscious and self-aware.
Hey, look, that's the note right there. She just said it. The last line. It's on the notes, so that means we're getting close to the end, guys.
It's almost time for break.
Let me check it. Check, and
oh my God.
check.
Did we really hit everything?
Yes, sir.
Hey, look at us go. But yeah, no, being self-conscious versus self-aware. And I think the self-conscious is the, like, trying to control other people's thoughts about you.
Yes.
Self-aware is trying to recognize where the irrationalities are coming from within yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a better way to put that, but I'm struggling to find it.
I'll find it. I'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that self-conscious is like, it's very much like, what are people thinking about me? Mm-hmm. And it's very self-centered in a way. Whereas self-aware is like, this is how I exist in this space, and this is how they exist in this space. And these are all these loose factors that are affecting everything that way and this way.
Yeah.
And then taking account of those things and taking responsibility for those things in a way.
Yeah.
And being like, not being like perfect, because I had a moment yesterday with my husband where I was like, ooh, I need to apologize for that.
Right.
And like recognizing that like, oh, I really need to apologize for that, but I need to find a good way to do it that makes sense but isn't.
Yeah. You took your time.
Yeah.
And you found the words, the right words.
And figured out what I like, what I was feeling icky about.
Yeah.
In how that interaction went.
Explicit communication.
Yes.
It's always explicit communication, even with yourself.
Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. Which is why we tend to say things out loud and be like, ooh, I hurt my own feelings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then our spouses are like, oh, what happened? And you're like, well, you did this thing. And then my brain was like,
yeah, I thought this.
They hate you.
Instantly.
Yeah. Because I was like, I feel super insecure about stuff. But that's I feel, not you did.
Exactly.
And that's really where that difference lies, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right. Do you want to take a break?
I need to take a break.
I think it's time. Because I need to get up. My back hurts. Like, my hips hurt and my back hurts. And I think I've probably been rocking.
My hips hurt and my back is starting to hurt.
Yep.
And
look at us rocking all this blue today. It's so funny. Cracks me up.
Go Team Blue.
Woo woo.
All right.
Okay. What do they need to do?
They need to Venmo me again. You didn't do it last time. I asked for it, and
they're gonna make us put our Venmo in the details if you don't stop it.
Then no, that's never gonna happen. But again, Venmo me. Otherwise, I'm gonna cancel all your subscriptions. No, you need to drink water. You need to take your meds. You need to maybe go outside, enjoy nature if you can, unless it's really snowy, because I know it's snowing a lot everywhere.
Yes.
So,
which is funny because we're like 70 degrees here right now.
It'll change. Next week we're dipping to the 50s again.
And then it'll rain and snow and it's gross and I hate it.
Yes. But also do something nice for yourself.
Yes.
You deserve it. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. Really. Like, treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Treat yourself.
But yeah.
Yeah. Drink some water.
Don't forget to eat something, because I haven't eaten yet today either. So I'm going to do that right now.
And I need to, because I took meds and now my diaphragm is spasming.
Yes.
So take care of you. Be kind to you. Be kind to others. And we will see you in a minute.
Bye. Welcome back. How was your break? Ours is pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yes.
We actually ate.
We did. We really ate.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got hydrations and conversations.
Yeah. And we went outside for a bit. It's so nice out
right now. It's really
now.
nice out with sun and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I pulled this back so you could see it, but it's heavy and annoying. You just imagine nice.
Just sunlight.
Springtime. For everyone. And Germany. Anyways, I can't not.
There you go.
For our last half, we wanted to just talk about our journey and like our progression, like how we've changed because of the podcast or through it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our bit.
There's a lot of that, and a lot of like being able to notice it and call it out.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, different.
Yeah. Oh, well, because we had a crisis last night.
Yeah.
And we dealt with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like appropriately dealt with it.
Yeah.
Like I started getting panicky. I don't know. I was just tired, I think. It was like, I'm tired and everything is terrible and everyone hates me forever.
Yeah.
But I started getting like super anxious and panicky about it and like just the racing thoughts, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I could just feel myself starting to spiral. And so I reached out and I was like, I don't know what I say. Hey, can you help me ground?
Yeah.
I'm starting to freak out. And I don't know what to do.
Unfortunately for her, I had already taken my night meds and was very much asleep.
Yeah.
So I handed the phone off to Jen and then worded through Jen.
Yes.
Which worked. I mean,
we went through the grounding, which helped a lot. And then I was able to be like, here's what's going on.
Jen's really good at grounding too.
Yeah.
Like, I just defer to her anymore. I'm like, help ground me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she'll be like, all right.
Yeah. The knot was where I was like, okay. I got this. Yeah.
The bowl.
Very smart.
She's like, how do you spell that? And I was like, I think it's bow line or bow line.
Bow line, I think. Yeah. Because
it
it would be bow line, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words.
But you reached out.
Yeah.
We did grounding.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't trigger. Like I wasn't stressed by it. I didn't have like major empathy breakdown.
Right. Because in the past, I would have been like, oh my God, I'm in crisis. And you're like, shit, your crisis is making me go into crisis.
Yeah, it's not like I would try and avoid you. I would just let it happen, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd never leave you hanging. Mm-mm. That'd be horrible.
No, but in the beginning, you would be like, Jen's way better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been quite the journey. And again, it was one of those things that my pain psychologist asked me and was like, what has the podcast, like, what do you get out of the podcast? Yeah. And I was like, so much. So much. I don't know that I can explain all of it, but a lot. Like, I don't know. We changed a lot. And when we think about accountability, that has been enormous.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a way to do it. Like my pre-existence before the podcast is probably a good starting point. Like what daily life was and how I would have reacted to things, I guess.
Yeah.
That might be a good way.
Yeah.
You can ask me questions too.
Okay.
Because that helps guide my thought.
Okay.
Also, if you hear anything in the background, it's the air conditioner. I didn't turn it off because I'm hot as hell.
Yes.
I know I'm wearing a hoodie, but there's no people under the hoodie, so don't.
Right. Yeah.
Look,
Held
that's
together by this hoodie.
dark void. Not that I'm not dark. I'm not being edgy. I'm just there's no people in here.
No, nobody under the hoodie. Don't look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's see. How would you kind of describe daily life?
Oh, dude.
Pre-podcast.
Very isolated.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't do things.
Yeah.
Like I hate this because I feel like I was lazy, but I wasn't being lazy.
No, it wasn't laziness. But at the time, I'm sure it was like you thought it was.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'm thinking back on it and I'm experiencing it again. Like, yeah, I wouldn't get out of bed a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, like, because we were recovering from things all the time, anyways. And
right.
Then there's still tons of pain. I didn't have the energy. I had that fatigue, like the legit fatigue.
Yeah.
And I would try to do things like set things up.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did a LAN party.
Oh,
Not a LAN
yeah.
party. We did a game jam.
Game jam. Yep.
And I didn't participate. I really wish I would have, man. I participated a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of the beginning of everything. And I mean, thinking back on that, I don't even know how I functioned, honestly. Because mental health wasn't great. It wasn't as bad as low.
Right.
It wasn't my bad.
No, but it was like, I don't know, at least for me, it was like limbo.
Self-talk. Yeah, exactly. It was like limbo.
Just waiting for the next
bad
crisis.
thing. Yeah.
Yes. Very much that, I think, was just, like, we felt, I guess, like the cynicism of everything. That, like, it's going to be this way. It's going to suck. No one cares that it's going to suck.
Yes.
And it's going to get worse the longer I live.
Yeah, that was the outlook. That was the window that you look through.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly that.
And no one's ever going to help me.
Right, well, because they can't.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what could they do?
Mm-hmm. Or they don't believe you. Like, when you're thinking about, like, doctors.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, that was how our brains function.
Mm-hmm.
There was no positivity. I mean, were you working out at the time yet?
Yeah. Because I've been working out with her for...
like a couple of years now, yeah?
It's got to be 3 years?
Yeah.
3 or 4 years? Yeah.
But damn.
But even that, like, there were times I was canceling workouts and then canceling workouts and then canceling workouts. Because if I didn't work out, it was so hard to get back into working out.
Yeah, well, that's where the whole episode about getting started right away. Like, you got to get up and move.
Yes. So, yeah, it was a lot.
I mean, compared to now, I've actively had a podcast for almost a year now.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have been able to do that without first having the energy. So getting on Concerta right away helped. Because even the first episodes we recorded drained me.
Yeah.
We also recorded in bunches of 3, like idiots.
It's a lot.
Like, one episode, let's go again. Second episode, let's do it again. Let's put the camera way up high so it looks...
We were the background of our own podcast. That's really what it was.
Yeah.
We didn't know. Don't look at me.
We had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
But, like...
Well, and we hadn't even thought about aesthetics at that point, because we were like,
no,
this isn't going to last.
No, I figured...
It'll be fun. And
I
then
wanted
we'll
it to, but I figured that there would be no way to continue after a point.
Yeah.
Because it's like with everything. I couldn't... hit
a wall and,
I just could not keep up. I didn't have the, like, self-confidence even.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was no belief in myself,
mm-hmm.
which is a weird thing to say now that I do.
Right? Like, now we can, at least, I don't know, can you...
What?
Trust your own competence, and when people say that you're competent.
Yeah. I mean, that's a more recent development, but, I mean, it's come from the podcast, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, especially when we ran those lives for the pilgrims, like...
It went well, and it worked, and it was great.
We got them inspired to do it on their own. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
But we did that.
So weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was... I don't even know. I'm trying to think, like, pre-podcast. I was doing everything, but I was just so overwhelmed by everything in general that, like, I would do what I had to do, and then I would sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I wasn't sleeping,
yes,
I was seeing you.
Yeah.
And that was like it. It was like work, home, your house.
Yeah.
This is it. That was
you
all
were
I
the
was
only
doing.
person I saw, except for when Kaylee would be able to come over.
Yeah.
The only reason we never saw each other is because she was so busy.
Right. Yeah. And then at that point, we were already having a lot of these conversations because it was just, we had to wait to see each other and then vent everything that was happening.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh my God, you understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
And then we would have a small window of like clarity and feeling connected, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Whereas now, like, I don't know, we have this whole community that we're connected to.
Yeah. I thought the only way my brain thought that was going to go is now we're disconnected. We don't connect at all. We've fallen apart.
We hate each other. This is a facade.
Would you say we've gotten closer through the podcast?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't.
No.
I don't like her.
He's such a bitch.
I love her. She's my sister. If you didn't know that, a lot of people don't realize that we're actually related.
We are siblings. We are half siblings, but we are siblings.
You had to throw the half in there. Jesus.
Well, I'm brown and it's confusing for everyone.
I mean, you could easily just say I'm white and it's confusing.
White people don't confuse people.
Oh, I see how it is.
Just the brown people.
But yeah, no, I think we've gotten way closer.
Yeah.
Not like we were distant before.
No, but I think we're more confident, like broaching topics and like analyzing our own thinking.
Yeah.
And not so like I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by
Oh,
calling
yeah.
people out or
No, yeah.
right. Like if I speak about this experience, you're gonna feel called out. Right. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't happen so much anymore where we're like, this is gonna be delicate, but we're gonna put it the right way, or we're going to deflect with humor and then put it the right way.
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah. No, I think
sure.
for sure we've gotten closer over the course of the podcast and more confident by far.
Oh, yeah.
By far. And creative, just freedom, I guess.
Yeah. It's a
Like-
great outlet.
Yeah.
And the things that we talk about are
Mhm.
things we've picked up.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know if it's more practice or it's because it's on our minds more. But
Well, and accountability, yeah.
yeah,
The accountability piece where we're like, we can talk about how to do this the right way,
but we have to.
but are we going to do it the right way?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, okay, I'm going to start practicing doing it the right way.
and being honest when we fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Being like, okay, I let this piece go.
I haven't been good about the self-talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I have lately. Don't think I haven't. I've been really good about it.
I don't know that I've connected with myself enough to do self-talk recently. I exist like solely in the moment, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then the rest
No.
of the time I'm offline.
You've had self-talk that's been really positive. You'll let it slip. It's been really
yeah.
nice.
Like,
Randomly, you'll be like, yeah, and I'm amazing. And I'm like, yeah, you are.
yeah. Well, that was the like newest shock, I guess. Starting to accept what other people say.
Yes. Okay, so this is going to sound really vain, or maybe, I don't know. But all the positive feedback we've gotten on the channel, like...
Well, it's that whole like, if two people at a party tell you you're drunk, you shouldn't drive.
Right.
If all of these people tell you that you're amazing, maybe you're amazing.
Well, it's okay. You're not saying we're amazing.
Just maybe. I don't know. Well, but some of them are.
The fact that we can be helpful,
Yeah. Well,
and that people look forward to it.
and that it connects with people. 'cause
Yeah.
That was the thing. We felt so isolated.
Yeah, it was
In the
like me and
beginning.
you in a storm.
Yeah. And then we had Facebook, which can be really performative
Yeah.
and disingenuous. And that was really hard because we were like, if this is the rest of this community, how am I going to survive?
hmm
But then finding the community and I just really liked that we set out to be 100% genuine from the start.
Yeah.
Because, and this is, again, I told her, she was like, do you think there's a barrier between like the you that you are by yourself and the you are on the podcast? And I'm like, no, not at all.
No, I've said stuff on this podcast that I haven't told people
Oh, yeah.
very close to me.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's, I don't know, I feel comfortable, first of all,
Mhm.
just talking.
Right.
You know, which before, holy God, I can't even imagine what like a year ago me would have thought.
I know.
If I was like, you have a podcast now and you've been doing it for a year and you've said things that you haven't even said to yourself.
Yep. Yeah, or like discovering things in conversations and being like, oh my God, breakthrough. Yeah. But then learning that like other people were also feeling that isolation and other people were, I guess, craving a genuine outlet.
Yeah.
And then just hearing from people like way back in the beginning, that one piece that was, I've been on this earth for almost 60 years and I found my people just now.
I love her, by the way.
Yes.
She's amazing.
But that moment was super surreal and like really stark. And you just like, it took a minute to take it in. And then once you have, you can't go around denying
right
the writing on the wall forever.
No, that comment specifically was big for both of us.
Yeah.
Like that was a big boost.
Yeah. I think it was like a milestone for us and like where we decided to take the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
The exploration that we felt comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And just even talking about like topics that we weren't so sure about and bringing other people in and learning from them through the podcast was really cool. And not scripting things. And at the beginning we were like, are we going to like script things? Like, do we have an outline? What are we going to do?
And the list of things that we were like, we shouldn't talk about this. We shouldn't talk about this. Like I was at first
controversial.
Not even controversial. I was like, I shouldn't say that I have kids. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were just so like, I don't know.
Yeah. We don't live in Colorado.
We definitely don't.
No.
Live it. Street.
Place. Place. Yeah. But
it's actually a street. No.
How has your communication with other people changed?
I feel okay. This is a really good one. I feel more confident in helping people with their stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I before I like helping people in general.
Yeah.
It's my shtick. It makes me happy
because we are emotionally intelligent.
Right. So if I can help someone genuinely, but before I was always stopped by who am I to say something? Like, what if I say the wrong thing? Mm-hmm. You know, and I've gotten more confident, I think, in that aspect. Like I've helped people through panic attacks now. Yeah. That's bizarre to me. Like to be able to do that is really impressive. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely from the podcast. Yeah. Like just going over topics, learning things and bringing what I've learned to here. Right. And then reiterating it because going over it twice. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like when you like how you have to write things out to remember it's the same. Uh-huh.
Well, and then watching it back was like a major step for me. So anytime I'm watching it back and it was, and it sounds super vain, but it was like, it was comforting. Mm-hmm. Like watching it back was like a soothing thing. And like, because at the time, like I didn't have a self-perception.
True. Oh, I'd never even thought about that. Yeah.
So, like, being able to look at myself on the screen and be like, okay, that is how I show up in the world. Yeah. That was super interesting and really bizarre and fascinating.
Oh, my God, dude. Before the podcast, I thought that I had zero, confidence in my looks. Mm-hmm. Like, genuinely thought that I was not a good-looking person. Thought I was super overweight. Hated myself. Like, and my voice drove me nuts. Oh my god,
mine too.
Yeah, at the beginning
I was so worried because I was like, I hate hearing myself.
Yeah, no, you have a great voice. Mm. People have even said it.
Yeah, I have a good podcast voice.
My voice is all nasally and hateful.
No, but then my voice cracks all over the place. But even like watching it back, it wasn't bothering me. Yeah, it wasn't like I was watching it and judging myself. I was watching it and discovering myself. Yeah, which was very strange, but just fascinating.
Yeah, I think we didn't generally have a better sense of self than before. Yeah,
and I think that helps us with that confidence because we do have this like stronger foundation now. Yeah, and that helps us to kind of branch out a little more instead of being like, well, I'm not really sure who I am to start with, and I'm gonna go tackle all this stuff and then crack and crumble and fall and go into crisis.
I hope that that's been an experience that other people have kind of had. Mm-hmm. That they've at least taken something away that's helped them. Yeah. Over the years. Over the year.
Over the year. Well, and we know they have.
I'm just hoping that, it's had a positive impact.
Yeah.
And we're not just entertaining.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think we're entertaining.
No, we didn't set out to be like, let's go be YouTubers. No, we were like, we're going to have a conversation and you guys can participate. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then learning that, like, our conversation was something that, like, helped people come to those conclusions.
Yeah.
And, like, they were almost participating with us in those conversations.
Yes.
And they could see themselves in us, which is super important because it does feel so isolating when you're, like, alone with this thing that no one understands.
I've picked up a lot from people's reviews of the episodes that we get on Discord, like the episode discussions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good conversations that happen in there. And that's been really helpful too.
Yeah. Well, and seeing them connect with each other has just been crazy. Because, like, a lot of the time I'm so busy that, like, and the ADHD part of my brain is like, wow, I have too much to catch up on. Don't even look at it.
Yeah, you're so far behind. They hate you now.
Right?
Like, no, it's not how it works.
But somebody is always there for somebody.
Yes.
Which is nice and really helpful. And I don't know, it's just kind of a safe haven. And it's not even so much like, because you know how the Facebook groups can be like, I'm here to tell you about a problem I'm having.
Right.
But there's more to it than that, which I really love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like people have been pretty open.
Yeah.
I mean, since we are, I figure
Right. Well, and I think that was...
They feel safe.
A huge thing and super important to me because, again, like, I don't have the energy to mask.
No.
And I masked for so long that I didn't know who I was at that point.
Yeah.
But, yeah, after being able to take the mask off, it's a totally different experience.
Yeah.
And, like, being able to live genuinely in the world.
Do you think that... Well, okay, maybe I'm thinking for me specifically that this has been true, but since we're so open here, do you think it's helped you be more outgoing, like not outgoing, but more like
transparent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of the podcast.
100%.
Like, it's like saying it in here makes it more real and okay to say it to someone else.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of that, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's made a difference in my work.
Yeah.
Especially. And the people that I kind of collect around me where I'm like, I'm going to be genuine and people are going to be shocked at first. And then they're going to be like, oh, hey, like you say all the things that I'm thinking.
Exactly. Like, I think back to the first time you said explicit communication. There was that one day. Do you remember?
Yeah. Like,
that episode is really important, I think, to me.
Yes. Because that's the thing is, like, we don't show up in the world like we're like, oh, I'm going to teach you a thing. It's like, come on this weird word journey.
Weird word journey.
But it is, right? Like,
come listen to us try and find a point.
Yes. Like, we're going to go on a weird word journey and maybe come to some discoveries.
Yeah.
And those discoveries have been really, like, pointed, I think.
Yeah. So hopefully it's been good for everybody.
Yeah, which would be cool. But, yeah. No, explicit communication especially was the one where it was like, I'm dying on this hill. It's my hill. There's nothing else. Stay away from my hill. My hill. Like, you can come join me on my hill, but we're dying on this hill. Communicate explicitly.
Yes.
Because that was the thing I learned, that, like, my needs were not going to be met unless... Sorry, my alarm is going off.
Oh, okay.
Unless I was able to self-advocate and say, like, I have a need and I need it met.
Mm-hmm.
And then learning who my audience was and going, I have a need and I have a need and I need for it to be met this way.
Yeah.
Or in this timeline or blah, blah, blah. So expanding that explicit communication helped a lot too.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I need a thing, but people aren't mind readers. And sometimes that, like, I need a thing, they're going to be like, okay, well, here's something that maybe looks like that thing. And you're like, no.
That's a pencil. No, it's not.
Don't gaslight me. Well, and holy crap, unlearning all of our gaslighting.
That's huge.
Ooh.
Like, first finding it.
Yeah.
And then acknowledging it. Yeah. And then working through it.
Mm-hmm.
We've come a long way on that regard, I think.
Yeah. Unraveling that whole mess. Mm-hmm. Like, unlearning these, like, really harmful core beliefs
Yeah.
about ourselves. Yeah. That, I think, has been amazing for our mental health. Like, I don't think we've come to crisis quite the same way.
No, not even.
Yeah.
It's
It's different. It's very different.
I really do want to meet myself a year ago and just
Right?
compare notes and be like, hey, guy, it's not that bad.
How you doing?
Hey, buddy, you want some hot chocolate? You want to talk? Let's have a conversation. And then you'd be like, no, I don't want hot chocolate. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Has marshmallows. Is good.
That's where I was going next. Yeah. Man, Jesus. Well, and then being able to like share our humor, which I think I was really self-conscious about at first.
Were you?
I think so. Yeah, because like we think we're funny, but I was like, dude, they think we're funny,
True.
or are we super annoying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, at the beginning for sure I had
Yeah.
that. I do remember being like, oh my god, they're gonna think we're so bad.
Yeah.
They're gonna hate us.
And then it was funny too, like coming to the realization, A, people think we're funny. B, when we were like, yeah, no, but we're just siblings. That's just what like sibling things do. And then people being like, no,
That's not
that's
siblings.
different.
It's different, guys.
And then, I don't know, because here we go. Ready? Brace yourself.
Okay.
Because you're kind of my best friend.
Ew. Gross. Positivity.
Crushed right to the soul.
Say something mean, quick. Don't. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna cut deep on accident.
I was just going to say, fuck you.
That was the one thing I couldn't hear just then.
It's just like, I love you. Fuck you.
No,
But like,
yeah.
yeah, having people view it from the outside and be like, nah, you guys have something a little more.
I like
than
how you
just,
moved
like,
away from it
siblinghood.
quickly.
No,
I
no.
appreciate it. You're like, I didn't just call you my best friend. We're gonna move away from that.
We're gonna let it dissipate in the air.
Oh, I was gonna.
I mean, if you want to hold it, you can have it. It's
I
right
was
here.
gonna reciprocate, but I guess no.
Oh, I mean, you can if you want to.
No, it's the time has passed. It's not.
I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
I like your
Say
dumb
nice
face
thing.
a lot.
Okay. Oh, a lot.
Yeah, I'd consider you my best friend. Hurts, don't it?
A little bit,
Yeah.
but I love you. That's the one thing we say all the time, though.
Yeah. Positive gremlins, not are we.
Yeah, no. We can't compliment one another, but we can be like, I love you.
Yeah.
Scream it throughout the house forever.
Well, you have to get it from every member of the family.
Yes.
Because everyone will yell it.
Yeah. Which is so funny. And that started before the podcast. That was
totally.
like, we didn't hear it enough within our own world that we were like,
Yes.
we're going to say it whenever and wherever we can. So there.
I even do it in sign language.
There you
That way, when I'm in a bad mood and I don't want to say it, I can just be like, love you.
go. I love you, but go away. Yes. Dang. The mess that we are.
Yeah. Well, not anymore. We're less of a mess now.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. It's just weird thinking back at, like, where we were and who we were.
At some point, we're going to do a review episode.
Yes.
Probably
we're
make
gonna-
it, like, not a podcast thing, but do, like, just a...
It'll be like a YouTube video, I think.
Yeah.
We'll react to our old episodes.
Oof.
Or a couple old episodes. I don't know.
I'll have Jen and
Maybe we'll
Kaylee
watch the pilot.
like pick a few.
There you go.
Like big. Oh, we'll just look at the numbers. I'll get the numbers and whichever ones have the most views. We'll do the
that's
first
a good
one
idea.
and then a couple other ones.
Yes.
And then watch those.
That's a good idea. I'm going to look at what they are now. Because I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Time doesn't exist.
We could
It's
call it
not
early.
real.
We had a longer
I think we
first
need
session.
to. Because I got to go do some family stuff.
Yeah, you have plans.
Yes.
Timed plans.
Timed plans. Yeah. They are time crunchy.
Yeah.
I don't know why crunchy was the word my brain chose for sensitive.
It's fine.
I have no idea what
It's
that was.
fine.
You're welcome, and I'm sorry.
But
Crunchy.
all of this to say thank you for watching.
Yes.
You guys are awesome and we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Like genuinely.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those, like, we get to walk this really cool road with all of you.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to
Make
throw
messes.
things and make messes and make mistakes and grow and change and
Yeah.
learn. And it's been amazing. And we appreciate you.
Hopefully that comes across.
Yeah.
I hope.
I hope so, man. We love you, even though we're not super active in the Discord a lot of the time. We try, I swear. Work kills me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, having this outlet, I don't know what I would do without this podcast. I don't know what I would do without you guys, and I don't know what I would do without you.
I don't know that you would have survived this year.
I don't think I would have.
Like
November was, I think November may have broken me.
Yeah.
Had we not had this structure.
Mm. And the tools that we've picked up and developed. And
that's hard to like say to myself, but yeah, man. But we love you and we appreciate you, and we are so thankful for you guys coming along with us and hanging out and learning. And giving us all of your wonderful suggestions and insights and tools, which we super appreciate. All that to say, I guess, that we love you and we'll see you in the next one.
Yep.
Be kind to you, be kind to others. Bye.
Bye.